Hi, everybody. Dee Dee Russell here with Wedding Venue Owners and Wedding Venue Owners and Managers Community on Facebook. If you have not found us, please do. We would love to have you join us there. I want to say a quick shout out to our sponsors, The Seat Co., one of the most wonderful places to get your chairs and wedding venue furniture, prices that some of our venue owners have said are just too good to be true. Amazing customer service. We love The Seat Co. Mop It, Floor Scrubbers, Ventura, Weave-In, and our guest today, our very special guest, which I think this might be one of our most popular videos that we've ever done, because this is going to solve such an incredible problem for so many venue owners and our engaged couples. So we have Anya today with Maru, and I don't want to waste any more time. Anya is talking to us about just an incredible product. You take it away, Anya. I'm going to really shut up this time. I always say I'm going to do that and I never do, but I am so excited. Like this is like Christmas morning for me. I'm so excited. I think our venue, this is going to change the way our venues operate. I think this is going to change the stress levels for our couples and really enhance both sides of the equation so beautifully.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that intro, Dee Dee. Yeah. So my name is Anya Winnica. I'm one of the co-founders of a brand new payments platform called Maru. And one of the features that we have on Maru is called Pay Over Time. And well, let's just say it's inspired by the Afterpays of the world, where, the kids these days, or really anyone, you can buy your Peloton this way, where you can split up the big payment into monthly installments. So that was sort of the inspiration. But Maru Pay Over Time is specialized for our industry. We thought about it only for wedding venue owners and others within the industry who are working with couples and selling. So the way it works is that a venue owner can offer their couple, their client, the opportunity to take the invoice, to take the full amount of the rental fee or any of the fee, and actually offer it to them in monthly installments so that they can pay for it in the next 12 months without interest, so interest-free. That gives the couple the leniency to potentially add more to their budget, or in the very least, it just allows them to get to yes faster. At the same time, the couple signs and pays their first monthly installment. We wire the entire contract amount to the venue owner's business bank account the next business day, minus our service fee. The entire—
Right there, Anya, we have to stop right there.
Okay.
We have to stop right there, because to me venue owners think about this. And I know that we're going to have to do follow-up videos with Anya, because Anya has an incredible history. When we mentioned Anya's name in the Wedding Venue Owners and Managers group, a lot of venue owners chimed in that they remember Anya from her background and what an incredible wedding industry expert she is. So this isn't just a, hey, wouldn't it be great moment. This is a years of wedding industry research with wedding venues, vendors, businesses and couples, and a lot of the pain points and completely magnified by what happened during COVID. So I want everyone to hear that piece again. When the couple makes their first payment, the venue gets their entire venue fee at that moment, wire transfer to their bank.
Yep. The next business day, it's in your account. And we get the question, or we were getting the question until we added it. What about cancellations? Like, how am I protected from this purchase? What happens if there's drama? So what we did was we added event cancellation insurance into it, which means that the couple has a list of the things that count as getting their money back. And if it's not on the list, they won't get their money back. We will never charge back from the venue. We wanted to do it to protect you from the venue, from ever having a question in your mind that you would have that taken out. It's like not going to happen because of this. And so we're sort of setting a standard and saying, listen, couple, like, you're going to pay over time. You get this really cool thing. But this is the agreement. You're going to pay us every single month, equal installments, no tricks, no details. And the business, now you get to focus on selling and creating an incredible experience for the client.
So this is why I'm so excited about this program and fascinated about this, because a lot of our venue owners have very good contracts And venue owner might be out there watching this saying, well, Anya, I don't need that because I have a great contract and it says ironclad in there, no refunds. It really spells things out. I paid, great lawyer to write this up. So I'm protected. But what we learn every day in the venue owners group is you're not really protected because there are too many social media. There are too many third-party wedding apps where bad review and review extortion happen. And you have probably seen this over the years and how absolutely tragic and painful it can be for wedding venues. So yes, it is absolutely vital to have those contracts. I would never say that is not supposed to be in place. Absolutely, you need a great one. You need one reviewed by a lawyer. Carrie Glover in our group is finishing up her law degree and she's a venue owner. If you need one, message me. I'll put her information in here. But the contract is only as good as your will to enforce it. So when you are in that situation where you are getting threatened, where someone is at the height of stress because of financial issues or financial strain or romantic meltdowns and breakdowns with couples, do you want the arrow pointed at Anya or do you want the arrow pointed at you? Wouldn't it be nice if Anya just said, here I am, I'm your target of anger, I'm the finance company. The venue owner doesn't even really have a say in it at this point necessarily. The venue had their contract. It was fully stipulated in there, all the terms and agreements. It's a standard across the wedding industry. Whatever you pay in, you don't get a refund on. And any couples out there watching or anybody that's, maybe like a wedding enthusiast that thinks, oh, that's crazy. The moment you start a business transaction with someone, you're incurring their value. You are taking value from them and you're taking their only valuable product off the table. And that is a wedding date. And it's so incredibly vital for them to have serious couples that understand budgets, understand what they have to spend, know upfront, and they're not, kind of dreamy and starry-eyed that things will just work out on their own in the end. And then they get angry at the wedding venue because they're like, we broke up or we've changed our date. Or what I see in a lot of the groups, I manage multiple groups, and one of the groups for couples, I will see this frequently. We have been doing this for 6 months. We've been planning. We didn't realize how much it would cost. We want to sell our wedding date. So they didn't even go to the venue to get permission or to see if it's legally allowed at the venue. They're just like, we just had stars of love in our eyes, And so the thing is, wedding couples out there, we love love. And I mean, we're in the business of love. We're in the business of encouraging weddings and celebrating weddings. It's the greatest celebrations on earth right there with babies and all of the good things in life. But there is a real business to this. And just because things maybe don't work out for you or you don't have what you thought you had, you can't incur that onto the venue. The venue is suffering real costs and real risk and real damage when you cannot fulfill your commitment. And so a company like Maru, who is coming along and providing this missing puzzle piece, there's just so many things. So again, I went off rambling, Anya, and I got to give you the floor because I know our venue owners want to hear from you. They want to know they want to know more about this program. So let's hear some more about it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I do want to say, like you mentioned, I've been in the industry for a really long time. I've met a lot of friends. And I mean, I could not imagine being in any other industry, period, the end. My co-founder comes from the finance industry. When we met, it was like yin and yang. And we were like, in this thing. And so I think one of the cool things just to know behind the scenes is that you have a powerful, financially minded fintech going on, but meets wedding industry. Like, we wouldn't let anything go out the door that wasn't appropriate for our industry. We want it to speak the language. We want couples to be happy, even if they're in drama mode. Like, we want to be able to speak to them in a way that helps them get through it. And, no one's getting bad reviews because just this is a set of standards. So there's that. And, as far as the way it works, it's a sales tool. So you can do a couple things. You could use it as a default mechanism. You could say, if you've got somebody with hesitation, you could say, actually, we have this method where you can pay for it over time. Are you interested? Just to use it there. Or you could use it as your default, which actually we have quite a few venues that do it because it's so easy for them. Once they sell it, they're not having to deal with payment collection over time or even, any of that. So if that's you, then, all you're doing is you're sending, once they've agreed to, yes, I'd like to do pay over time, instead of sending them the traditional payment button that you would send them a Maru request through our pay over time portal. They click on it and they're asked a few questions. They go through a soft credit check. It is not going to ding them. And we've got a whole FAQs for them. But what it does is we just ensure that it's like, we're going to be able to give them this money over time. Truth be told, almost every couple is covered. And if they're not, if their limit is a little bit under, what we do is we say, how about you add a parent or another partner? And so that person functions as a co-signer. So the typical couple signs up and is done and ready to pay their first installment within 5 minutes. It's very, very quick. When they pay their first installment, they basically link their bank account, they pay, and then you get a notification that they're off, and you get a notification that your money is on the way the next day. The couple gets notification, here's your payment schedule, and we're off to the races.
And I mean, so there, again, there's so many fascinating parts of this. I feel like there will be multiple parts once we get some questions coming in. And I know there's going to be some naysayers out there. Bring it on. I'm interested in your questions and your concerns. And I know that Anya wants to really address all of those because there are a lot of questions. So one concern I can imagine from venue owners is maybe this is irresponsible. We don't want to encourage couples going into debt at the beginning of their wedding. But what I would say to that is that so many couples come to you, you are in full on venue focus mode. You are your operations, your contracts, your details, all of the things that you have to do, mowing 200 acres, all of those things you have to manage. And when the couple comes to you, a lot of times, and I know there's some venue owners out there that this may differ from, you might not really have a detailed finance conversation with them. You might not have a conversation about how they're affording this. You might not get into those things. It might be awkward for a venue owner to talk about healthy finances or healthy, progress when you're managing your budget, or even how did they come up with a budget, or how many people are helping them pay for this. There's just a lot of different things. So that our venue owners probably prefer not to get into. So as far as responsible means, what you don't want is your couple getting halfway through a wedding, starting to stress out, turning that on you. I really do believe a lot of the reasons that those wonderful couples get really stressed out and start to kind of turn on the venue owner or some of the vendors is they are really stressed over finance. They had a plan in mind. They are not wedding experts. We're wedding experts. They are not. They may have been promised by a relative. They may have thought they were getting a promotion. They may not have expected their cars to break down. I mean, you never know what crazy wildlife things come along. But when we put them in a bit of a cruise mentality where they can rest assured that they're covered because they have a good job, because they have credit. Now they can spread this out a little bit. Now they're going to relax. I really do feel that a lot of the backlash that our venue owners get come from financial stresses and strains.
Exactly. And from my observations on the editorial and the marketing and the B2B side for forever, it was always, money is the elephant in the room. We don't talk about it, we'll talk about anything else, but we won't talk about money. And it's awkward on both sides. This is an emotional purchase. Everyone's got their stuff with money. And what Maru aims to do is set a standard and actually have the conversation in a very logical way where we can say, hey, so-and-so doesn't look like you're quite ready for a $10,000 venue. How about add a contributor and then you'll be ready for it. And here are your payments. And one other thing I would say to the high interest, to the debt in general, is that 75% of couples in America turn to a high interest credit card to help pay for the wedding. Hence what you're saying, they're getting halfway through and they're like, I have to take out a credit card because I don't know how I'm going to do this. The beauty of Maru is that we are encouraging them not to put it onto a high interest credit card, not to put a huge balance that's just going to accrue interest over time, as opposed to now we're saying, here is the plan to pay for this. And we know you can afford it. And it's going to be, $500 a month instead of $6,000 right now. And then you're cashed out. So.
Absolutely. And I think this method does also bring some more financial discussion from a financial expert who has more insight on the different financial options that someone has. So now venue owners watching this, again, you're not in that seat of going, oh, I feel awkward. I'm not sure what I'm offending someone. I'm not sure if I'm overstepping. I'm not sure if they want me to give some advice. You know, our venue owners do kind of have an awkward position. They do want to be helpful, and they really most often come from such a great place of love and desire to do a great job for the couple. But in polite society, there is an awkward moment for that.
Well, and I would also say this, when it works the best, it's actually not being used in an awkward moment when they're like, oh, I can't afford it. And you're like, here, use this, as opposed to just saying, listen, this is a modern payment method that we use. It's called pay over time with Maru. Like, honestly, some very high net worth people use it on our platform because they know the power of cash flow. Like, they know better to hold on to their cash. So we're usually not working with people who like just can't afford it, so they use it. That's actually, I know that's what people say, but it's actually not what happens in reality. In reality, people who understand cash flow know that it's better to hold on to my money. And if I can pay for this over time with no interest, no brainer. So hard way or the whatever way, and here's the Maru way, see what you think, because, you know, financially savvy couples will probably turn to it too.
So let's talk a little bit about the sales process. So when I'm envisioning this, I'm thinking that there is that moment during contracts or that conversation where Maru is introduced as an option. And again, this shouldn't be, you know, seen as somebody that cannot afford a wedding at all at your low. Is someone that can afford a wedding, but there are 5 different ways they're going to afford it. They're kind of, you know, fully, you know, versed in great financial, you know, upbringing and education, and they don't have a problem, and they've been saving. That may be a very small amount of our couples. Some of our couples probably have really great jobs and they have a great forecast, but we all know forecasts get cloudy unexpectedly. And then some with parents and stuff like that. I think another great tool here would be, you know, if you chose not to involve parents, or if you chose to use Maru and have a little more control over that, where you're making payments and maybe payments are being helped. Again, this helps the venue because the less people who feel like they're involved or on that contract, the better. You know, venue has to be very cautious with, I'm paying for a portion, so I want to be on the contract, so I want to come in your venue every time and delegate and change things up and create drama and issues. So this is another way where we're really empowering the couple to manage this themselves exactly how they want to and have a lot more control over that. It's also allowing them to have a little more control over some of the elements. Maybe they can afford their entire wedding and that's not an issue, but now they want to add china and they want to add beautiful upscale linens, or maybe, you know, $8,000 in flowers. Some of you out there watching this and you're thinking $8,000 in flowers, that's crazy, I would never do that. Well, don't do that for your wedding. That's absolutely fine. But some couples want those beautiful, dripping, incredible, elegant pieces. Maybe they want the photographer flown out all the way from Hawaii that they saw taking photographs at the, you know, at all the beautiful volcanoes or whatever. And they've got to have that one. And that one's $10,000. They paid for everything else, but maybe there are other aspects that they're financing to make sure that this is a smoother process.
Yep. And another use case that could work. I chatted with somebody who said, listen, I do okay on the deposit front, but I have a payment that comes, and I'm not sure if this is common, you tell me, Dee, but like, you know, you're saying basically like, I don't know, 3-4 months before the wedding, they do a payment where the couple needs to be paid up to a certain amount. And that's the one that hits them, and they sort of like hesitate and they're like, I don't know if I could possibly. And, you know, for him, that's where he's offering them, hey, you can extend your payment now. And actually in that case, it's going to go past the wedding. So they're able to, you know, have the wedding in 4 months, but, you know, continue to make payments after. So that's pretty cool. You know, again, it's like the days leading up to the wedding are really stressful, not let alone knowing that the balance is due on the credit card. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the number one things that causes couples problems, we know this from the beginning of time, since Adam and Eve, since way back whenever, is that element of financial stress and strain. Yeah. Just puts such a damper on things. So to have this option is so wonderful. I think Our venue owners and our couples need to be very responsible and wise with the way they're using something as powerful as this. But like you said, I don't have the data on this, but I know that the numbers have got to be high as to how many couples are using credit cards to pay for this. And in this scenario, we're taking a lot of the things away from it, but we're also ensuring that our venue owners get paid. And that is one thing that I love the most about this. We all know that our credit card companies did not support our venues during COVID. There were articles written, just dispute with the credit card company. And that element that you're requiring wedding cancellation insurance is such a huge piece. If you could talk on that for just a moment, some of the secure elements being added with that, because I believe what's happening there is if we do break up, if the wedding doesn't happen, if for what a wedding cancellation, and why that's important.
Yeah, I mean, this was the wedge. This was the thing that made the product make a ton of sense for our industry. So when the couple is signing up, they're getting an understanding of what are the things that get me my money back. And those things are, just to give you a few, it's like extreme weather, accidents, job loss, military deployment. If those things happen, they get their money back, and they're dealing with insurance to do that. They're not dealing with you to do that. They're dealing with insurance to do that. On the flip side, you're not having to mess with any of it. Now, if they break up and have drama, the thing is, like, this is why we're here. We're here to standardize and say, listen, I get it, but here's what you've agreed to do. You agreed to a non-refundable venue, and you're going to need to pay us back over time. And this is the agreement we're in. And so no longer are you having to probably spend a ton of time on back and forth emails, God only knows what. But we're doing that now for you. We're playing the middleman and just getting them to understand this is what you're on the hook for, should that happen.
And I can't tell you how many couples have just been destroyed emotionally with threats of, you're treating this like a business for all the money we paid. Comments like that. It is an emotional purchase. And it's one of the biggest purchases some of these couples have made up until this point. But the moment you start a business transaction with someone, they incur a loss. They are losing time, energy, and effort. They're planning. They're using their expertise to help you plan. They are taking a day, which is their product, off the shelf that no one else can get. And by the time these things happen where it might not be working out or you're wanting to change it, you're not realizing that date could have been sold 3 or 4 times over. And you took that away from that venue owner. Now let's add to that anger, resentment. I want my way. I want my wedding back. This didn't work out. I'm heartbroken, or I'm hurt. Or talk about the military deployment. That happens so often. And, not to put the venue in a deficit or the couple in a deficit, to have that cancellation element right there that helps support that is amazing. I mean, just being able to sleep a little better at night as the couple or as the venue is huge. And I love that piece. I love that piece.
Me too, because that should be covered. That's something that somebody should take care of, right? Like in the United States of America, like you should be covered if you're deployed. And so that's in there, right? Like if a massive hurricane comes and ruins it, like you shouldn't have to go to Amex, who's then going to like charge it out of the small business owner's bank account. That's not fair. So, that's why that's in there. And we standardized, hey, these things, if they happen, covered. The rest, listen, we're going to, we're going to have to, recoup the costs. So yeah.
Okay. So I want to end the conversation here where our venue owners are thinking about all the ways that they could use a service like this, thinking about all of the ways that they might introduce this. And I guess we're not ending, because I do want to ask, when our venue owners want to learn more and they're interested in reaching out to you, Anya, what's the process for that look like?
I mean, frankly, this group in particular, like, please, you have a through line to me. You're more than welcome to email me directly. My email is Anya, ANJA, @maroo, MAROO.US. So, and if you tell me you're in the venue owners community with Dee, we'll fast track you to the top of the list. We'll do a demo together. We'll make sure that you understand everything and the way it works. We'll customize whatever materials are needed. I mean, this community is clearly a strong one and a good one. And we want to make sure that everyone in it understands how to use it and loves it. So, email me. if you want, you're welcome to sign up on maru.us. But honestly, I'd love to white glove service here. So just to make sure everyone feels really comfortable with it.
We love the VIP service. Mention WeddingNerd. They'll know exactly who that is when you call in, and they'll unlock the VIP room and they'll let you in and usher you back there with all the bells and whistles and the white glove service. So we are going to do some follow-ups. There are going to be some questions. I cannot wait to hear your questions, wedding venue owners and engaged couples. I really want to hear your questions, your concerns, your feedback. I'm absolutely thrilled with this. I hear the stories all day long of venue owners having to deal with some of these things over and over, all by themselves, alone, and feeling really lost in a situation they don't know how to handle, in a situation that they thought they had covered with their contract and with all their communication pieces and their education pieces, and they do not. Having this additional service to help provide a buffer, to help provide solutions, to maybe increase client satisfaction with your product, which is wedding venue services, to maybe help increase your conversion rates. Absolutely. If somebody is just on the edge of what they think they can spend or what they're comfortable with out of their savings, and this allows them to leave savings in savings or not take out a 401ks or whatever they were thinking of, it's just genius. It's brilliant. I can't believe there's not a million of them out there, but I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to a lot of services about any type of financing if they didn't have incredible wedding industry experience. As you all know, wedding venue owners, this is not like any other industry. You think that you know, but you don't know. And Anya has, they've said it in our wedding venue owners group that some of the comments were one of the, having one of the most, extensive backgrounds in weddings and one of the premier wedding experts out there. So that didn't come from me. That came from wedding venue owners in our group. So and I don't know if you felt that as somewhere when those comments were coming in, but we're very strong in Anya's favor. And so I really want you to reach out to Anya, ask questions, post questions on this video on YouTube or on the weddingvenueowners.com website. I want to ask, we're going to bring Anya back multiple times. We have so much to cover here. I want to talk about some of the couples' feedback, some of the things that they loved about this, some of the things that this helped them accomplish. This helped them have a stress-free wedding. This helped them have a better wedding, a more quality wedding experience. This helped them love the experience of planning a wedding. I want to hear from some of our venue owners, and I really want to see you all testing this process and seeing how many more weddings you could book in a year, how much more, happiness and happy experience your couples are having when they have this element and some of this weight lifted off their shoulders, the protections you have with that that cancellation insurance policy piece. There's just so much here. So I want to hear your feedback. I can't wait. We're going to have, more conversations with Anya, and I'm just so excited and thankful to have you, spending the afternoon with us, sharing this. I'm so excited about this program. I'm just thrilled. I'm so thrilled. I love the payment processing. Remember, Maru does payment processing for wedding businesses. You all have a lot of challenges with that, and I love that. But I love this. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this.
We are too. Bring it on. Like you said, any and all feedback. We're designing this for you. So, as you go through the process, let's do the demo. Let me show it to you, and let's sell and make people happy.
Wedding dreams coming true, and a lot less of those bumps in the road along the way. Yeah. So thank you so much, Anya. Remember Maru, and we're going to have all of the links at the end of this video. Give us some feedback. We can't wait to hear from you. If you have any questions, dd@weddingvenueowners.com, and look forward to hearing all of your feedback. And bye, Anya. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.